We know that team's down there, right? I also know there's like 5 or 6 guys in Scotland desperate for just a hint of love.
Song earlier. Did you make that up? I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I just made it up.
It's great.
What was it again?
Something about tonight, but it felt like
Well, I can't remember the tone. Maybe you can remind me.
kind of like that.
Welcome, everybody, to the ZB Ho Dojo within the XMD city of USA. My name is Spicer McLeroy, and you all know how excited I am to be here, the first episode of XMD Live. Who's the first one that they put up? Who's the first one? Huh? Me. That's right. I bring the heat every time. Every time. So, before we get started with our session for today, make sure your gi's on nice and tight. Make sure it's all wrapped up, because we're going to be grabbing onto some anatomy, bringing it all over the place, all right? So make sure your gi's nice and tight, all right? Second, before you enter the ZB Ho Dojo, you must bow to all of the masters that preceded us. Let us start with the Almighty Father, Frank Frazetta. Make sure you bow. Let us begin. Thank you, Frank Frazetta. St. Joseph. St. Ryan. St. Paul. Look up here. Look up here. And the Archangel Raphael. Thank you for your continued education, inspiration, and overall badassery. I appreciate it. So how's everybody doing out there? So this is XMD Live, okay? We're at the ZB Ho Dojo. It's a special part of the XMD Academy. All right, this is kind of like the lounge area where all the badasses come. Get a sweat on, hang out, exchange techniques and all that, So if you haven't joined yet, make sure you like and subscribe right now. I appreciate Artistic Neo Soul and Leo David. Thank you very much for joining us over on YouTube. We are also over on Twitch and DLive under XMD. So find us there and join us there. Make sure you don't miss a single show. All right. So let's go over some what should we call it? Some basic information stuff. All right. Basic information stuff. Okay. So we're going to go to XMD. All right. So I teach character creation for collectibles. All right. Let's go over here into the ZB Ho Dojo. Make sure you bow before you enter and step on my mat. All right. So, character creation for collectibles. Those that are getting the on-demand, you're always going to have access to these episodes. We're going to be doing these twice a month, 7 p.m. at XMD Live. We're going to start a project from the very beginning, and we're going to have it recorded, and it's going to be added on to your on-demand. Also, we are going to, if you got the full course, you're going to have private sessions with me in the Hangouts on the other 2 Wednesdays of the month, right? So thank you very much for purchasing, watching, chilling, hanging out, all that good stuff. I appreciate you. And also, one more thing. I'm just going to shut down my Facebook because it keeps distracting me. All right. So we are going to have many people on XMD Live. You can find it at xmd.com right now. You can see it's us. You know, you and me. We're sitting here kicking ass, right? But all the instructors will be doing that. So we have the amazing Ad Martunak all the way from Transylvania. We have Ashley Sparling. Ad's going to be teaching basically from concept to playable character, using, sketching it out, modeling it out, texturing it out, rigging it out, and then slapping it in a game engine so that it can be used for whatever you're going to use it for. So it's a really clean process, very efficient. He's been refining this process for years and years and years. So definitely check it out. Next is Ashley Sparling from Ubisoft. He's going to be going over hair creation. So if you want to be winning awards like Ashley Sparling over at Ubisoft Quebec for a little Assassin's Creed over at the ZBrush Live, if you want to have that type of quality in your hair, then you definitely want to take that course as well. We're going all courses. Let's go live courses. All right, because these are the ones that are going to be streaming. We also have Eric Askew. So if you want to engineer anything for 3D printing or any of that stuff, Eric is definitely going to walk you through that. He's really smart with his cuts. All of his things are super printable the first time that they've been engineered. He has a whole lot of experience. I've worked with him personally. He's quick, he's smart, he's good, and he's definitely willing to teach you all of that good stuff as well. So he's got like 40 lessons of that. And that's what we got. And then we got, your boy, 75 lessons, of course. 75 freaking lessons. That's less than $1. That's less than 10. It's like $6-7 each video, man. And there's going to be more and more and more and more added on. So there's the spiel, all right? There's the spiel. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff, right? So one of the things that, like in my course, I teach a lot about certain things, but I didn't have a chance to put a project together from beginning to end for everybody to watch and for me to explain it all the way through. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm looking through these. Please make sure you read if you need. Okay, well, D-Live's just... All right, thanks, D-Live. I appreciate that. So we're going to be going over these that I kind of want to do for the stream. So we have, was it Lady? It's Snowblade, not Snowbird, or at least that's what. Whenever I was looking it up, that's what it was called. So we have, a samurai umbrella. And then some blood splatter on top of a snow mound, and all that good stuff. We have the Crow. I've been digging on Matteo Scalera for a lot, and his work is just really, really expressive. I love it. But this is the Crow, which is one of my favorite characters from my depressed teenage years. There's this huge sign of that. And then we have Matteo Scalera's Etrigan, the Demon from DC. So this one would be cool. We can get some capes and cloth here. We can get some trench coat goodness and sculpted hair, and then an animal and some hard surface stuff going on. But we also need to make it kind of like, collectible worthy. So we won't be creating all of this. We'll just be creating this piece, and then we'll have to have I don't know what we're gonna do to solve these lines. Maybe we can have one going from one to the other, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, so I'm trying to think which one y'all want to watch, which one y'all want to see. I think, if we're going to go through this one, we can get it done quickly, right? Like Scotty Young, make sure you follow him on Instagram. Really, really dope. And let's see. Let's do Etrigan. Etrigan's already ready to go, and we're going to be doing this for years and years and years. So we'll be having plenty of time to do many of these. So we'll go with Etrigan. And so let's start from the beginning. All right. So if you've taken this course, if you bought this course, you should have access to this rig. Sorry, just adjusting my gear. Oh, and this is Princess. She's sleepy. She's a sleepy, lazy dog, and I love her for it. I'm going to get some German Shepherds pretty soon. It's going to be a whole lot of running. All right. So we're going to go with Etrigan. It's a pretty simple pose. This is how I create the characters. But as I was saying, if you got the course and you have access to this rig, you just plug it into Maya and it's pretty much ready to go. So while we're recreating this pose, we'll also go over how to use a rig. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is just block off a piece. So I'm going to go with a cylinder. We're going to make it big. We're going to make it long. We're going to make it flat. We're going to rotate it. We're going to bring it down. Oops. We're going to bring it down somewhere around there. But this is a good place to start from. It's got a nice diagonal to it. I would say it's about a 45 degree. And this is let's go to our channel box and let's say, what is this? Nope. Let's try that again. Okay, so we're going to go here. Yes, we're going to go degrees, negative 45. There we go. So I would say it's around a 50. Let's go negative 50. Negative 55. Yeah, negative 55 on the Z. So it's not a 45. It's about a 55 degree angle. Okay, and we're gonna shorten this back up. We're gonna make sure, because you don't want your base to be. There's plenty of sculpts or collectibles or prints or STLs with huge bases. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But whenever we're starting out, or at least in this concept, we want to keep everything nice and clean and nice and conservative, so that we can just put it on our desk. For this purpose is just to put it on the desk. Maybe next year or later on, we'll do one where we can be a little bit more elaborate with the base. We can go deeper into that. But for this, we just want to keep it nice and conservative and nice and what should we call it? Nice and small. So it'll work, right? And we can print it out, and people will want it. So let's now that we're in Maya, we got this base ready to go. What we're going to do is we are going to start posing the character on it. And we don't want the body to be very stiff, right? We don't want all that. So hopefully we can, whatchamacallit? We can bring some life into it and some balance and some dynamism to it, right? So what I'm going to do is I don't want to affect any more geometry, so I just want to affect the rig. So I'm going to click this, and it's now I can't select any geometry, no matter how much. But I can select every single one of these controllers that we want, right? So I'm going to press 4 on my keyboard, and that way I can see through it in the wireframe. Just going to grab this and press 5, and it's going to come back to shaded. We are going to turn this foot in to do something like that. We're going to rotate the foot. We just want to make sure it's not broken from the very beginning, right? We're going to... Let's rotate this. I don't want to rotate from there. Let's use this one. This one will give us a nice little bend to it. There we go. So that's what I'm looking for. Something like that. That way we can have some room for all the bones in here in our ankle, right? So, and it's going to be pointed in, and he's going to be leaning onto that one. So if you can imagine yourself doing a squat and coming over to just one leg and how you would balance that, right? So right here, and then maybe, well, let's just get this going. Let's get these feet set up, and then we can move the hips as much as we want later. Well, not as much as we want, but as much as we need. I'm going to bring this up. Boop, douche. Right here. And we're going to roll this. Nope. We're going to roll that. Let's... Ooh, I got it. Let's roll this one. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Something like that. And we want to kind of bring this knee to sort of be in line with, well, we need it in line with our foot, right? We can't have it twisted off too much or else it's just going to look broken. Okay, so now what we're going to do is rotate his hips, and you don't have to do it exactly like this. I'm just walking you through what's going on in my mind while I'm getting this. So for me, it just makes sense for me to go from the feet all the way up. And then, and most of the time, we want to spend in the hip area. And this rig is not. I'm going to get it refined more and more later on. We'll definitely have some new versions for you coming up, so that we can have a bit better deformation around the knees and all that stuff. Alrighty, so let's take another look at this concept art. And you can see his his shoulders are forward like that, right? And he's gripping something like this, all that good stuff, right? So let's kind of create that here. So let's bring this forward. Let's bring that forward. So he's kind of like hunched over a little bit. And then we can grab this. Let's bring it back. Okay, and okay, that's what I need to do. Okay, so let's grab this waist controller, bend it in, maybe lift it up. Bring this back. All right, so we kind of got a good rough sketch of this. let's bring these traps down just slightly. I don't want to go 20, 30 degrees with it, right? Just a little. And then we can fix it later if we need to. All right, so here, that's fine. We can adjust those later. I don't want to get into the hands just yet. I'm going to bring this over, bring that over. Turn this wrist in. And let's rotate this chest a bit more. And rotate this arm back out. And now let's get this one. Bring this in. And hopefully this head will finish it all off. Right here. And let's see if we can get him to sit down a little bit more without breaking the leg. I think we can do that. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. Alrighty. So now what we can do is we can start cupping this hand. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click the word cup, and then in my viewport, I'm going to hold my middle mouse button down and kind of curve it up. I think what I'm going to do is actually give, so it's not so samey. They're not doing the same thing. I think that adds a little bit more to it. And let's rotate this out. And then we can for right now, let's just start placing it ever so slightly. All right, so on this one, I'm going to go to spread, and I'm going to do the same thing. Hold middle mouse button down because I kind of want to have these a little bit more aggressive. And let's take these. I'm holding shift while I'm selecting these because I want to kind of rotate them together. And I want to bring my thumb out and then curve it down. Like that. I think that we are pretty good on this. Let's bring this up a little bit more. And let's make him kind of angry. Okay. Let's grab this chin, bring it forward. Because he got a huge underbite, so. And it's also over to the right. He's like, right. So let's bring it over. And I'm not worried about the deformations here or any of these pops, because we can fix it in ZBrush with just a smooth brush. But I'm going to lengthen the neck a bit, just so we have a little bit more of a. Because if we have it down here, it's going to be a very small triangle whenever the traps go up. But if we keep it here, gives it a little bit more room for the neck to be wide and thick, and then also the traps. All right. So now we're going to grab these and then rotate them in just a little bit. Let's try that again. A little bit more aggressive. And let's turn this mother out. There we go. A little bit more believable. And let's get this, see if we can make it sexier. Alrighty. So now I'm going to go to show. I'm going to say none. And then I'm going to go show polygons. And then we can take a look at this and see. Probably move that shoulder or that left arm up. So I'm going to go back to show and all. Grab this. Kind of rotate it up a little bit. And let's see. Wonder if I can just push this a bit more. Because, you know, we're here to be badasses. You know what I'm saying? So we might as well just push it to the extreme. Let's see. See if we can pull this knee out so the length doesn't get lost. I'm not really looking for. I'm not too aggressively wishing for anatomical perfection with this rig. And let's turn this out to just a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah. There we go. Let me get some water, y'all. Let me get some water. Just chill out. It's delicious. Goddamn delicious. See? Oh, look at that. It goes all the way through. All right. That's technology, y'all. Okay. So, I kind of want to bring this back and rock it forward a little bit more. And I wouldn't mind bringing this out. And probably can rotate it as well. And let's undo that and then rotate this out. Okay. And let's bring it over. Bring it down. And boop, right there. Okay. And this forward a bit. I'm just looking to add some depth at all times. I don't want things lining up too much. I don't mind them going in the same direction, but I don't want them lined up, you know, like this, because it's going to be very awkward. But if I bend it, do something like that, you know, they're still flowing in the same direction, but it adds a little bit more dimensionality to it. Okay. So let's rotate this. And he looks kind of weird. It's bothering me. Alrighty, so let's see. What do we got? Let's put his foot underneath his ass. That's cooler. And that way, because you know, whenever you kneel down like that, you're kneeling pretty much on your heels. Your glutes touch your heels usually. So we can kind of do that here as well. Leave that alone. Alrighty, let's twist this a bit. That's better. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Just trying to make sure. I mean, we can refine the pose fully in ZBrush, but I just want to make sure that most of it's here, so we aren't correcting too much. Okay. So let's bring this arm forward just a little bit. I don't mind these touching or being close to each other. It's just going to provide more stability when it's printed out and less likely to break, right? Okay. All right, so I just tapped spacebar and it's giving me all these orthographic views, top, front, side. So just going here and pressing F for each one. And show none, show polygons. And turn wireframe off. Alrighty. Something like that. Show none, show polygons. Turn off wireframe. And just kind of making sure nothing's going to be off. We can bring this base down here and really be aggressive with this shape. But we kind of want, an action line. There is, museum poses where they're just standing and, standing confidently. And there's plenty of those. And those you kind of want, probably don't want an angled base for that. But this is a little bit more action. There's obviously been a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of things going on. So the pose is going to be a little bit more where the base is going to support that action and that momentum and trying to capture a moment in an action scene, and those diagonal lines are really going to support that feeling. Okay. And I think I'm going to move his shoulder over, or move his body over just a little bit like that, and maybe move his hips over. That's a bit too much. Just a little bit. Okay. And show none. And then polygons. Okay. We have a little pop here, but that's fine. We can fix that in ZBrush with a little tap of the smooth brush. But I think it's probably, let's show all. And he is hunched over, but not so aggressively. Okay, just seeing what we can do. Alrighty. And let's bring this arm back. Just a little. And yeah, that's looking pretty decent. And let's just make sure this isn't twisted over too much. Just making sure that we got everything we can here before we just throw it over to ZBrush and get started with it. Okay. So, if you are watching this, make sure to go to XMD or character creation for collectibles.com. You'll be able to find this course and all the other instructors that we have at the XMD Academy as well. We have the on-demand version, which you'll have access to all of these streams. If you have the full version, then you'll also have access to private one-on-one sessions, which we'll schedule for every other Wednesday on the adjacent Wednesday, or not on the Wednesday that we're doing these, but obviously the other Wednesdays. So, but yeah, make sure to buy the course or the on-demand. There's plenty of information, plenty of other information coming in. So if you're watching the stream, we greatly appreciate you being here. And yeah, we're going to get back to it. And let's see if we can move this head over a little bit. A little bit. A little bit. Oh, what's that? You wanted to know about the course? Is that what you asked? Okay. Well. Bam!
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Spicer McLeroy, and we just finished creating some champions over at the XMD Academy. How? I'll tell you how. By creating a 10-week workshop course with 100% approval rating. But you know what? It's not good enough. It's not good enough for me. It's not good enough for XMD. So, the CFO, the CEO, the president, and myself sat in a room and we hashed out a multi-trillion-dollar deal to bring you this course for on demand. That's right. Lifetime access, baby. Not only to the stellar course that it is now, but to all the improvements and refinements that come with this in the future. Over this 10-week champion forging course, we are going to dive deep into anatomy, ZBrush, posing, and ensuring you have the best possible foundations to take your career to the next level. Are you ready to become a champion? Then register for the Character Creation for Collectibles course at the XMD Academy now.
Right now. All right. So, I think we got most of this ready to go. Maybe we'll send it out. So I'm going to turn this polygon selection back on. And now we're going to go here. We're going to select that. We're going to select that. That's all we need. We can add eyes. And the eyes aren't important, neither are the eyebrows or the teeth, because they're monster teeth, right? So we don't really... Well, actually, let's bring in the teeth. Let's bring them teeth in. Let's open this up. And we'll be able to... There we go. So we'll grab them teeth, this teeth, and the base, and we'll go File, Export Selection. And let's start a new one. Let's go. Let's go here. It's going to be Etrigan. And we're going to say base pose 01. Boom, boom. If we do need to make any adjustments, we're also going to save this in there as well. I'm going to go back up here. What? Let's go back. Where was that? Etrigan, right there. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it scenes, lowercase, and we're going to save this in here as initial pose. Initial pose. Well, we'll do this first. Etrigan. Initial pose. Continue. Alrighty, so we've got that. Hello. And we're going to import. We're not going to load a tool because it's not a tool. It's automatically going to give us Polymesh 3D to replace. We can go to a quick access over here, brothers and sisters. And we go there. Etrigan base pose. Boom, bring it out. And now we've got this. Yay! We did it! Yay! Smooth. Alrighty. So, kept a bit of it. Obviously, we're going to have to resculpt the knee. And fix this, curve in here. It's a bit too deep, but that's fine. That's fine. For an initial pose, an initial free forms and shapes, I think this is just fine. Alrighty, so let's go over to take a look at what we got. So this guy's pretty simple. I think he's just got some Robin Hood boots, skin tight suit, simple belt, a clasp for his cape, and that's about it. So should be pretty easy. Let's I'm gonna go to polygroups. I'm gonna auto group it, and then I'm going to grab this. I'm going to split hidden, which is in your subtool. Split hidden right there. As soon as you have something hidden, it'll be available to you. Right here, split hidden. All right, so we got our teeth separated from all this good stuff. So this base, I'm not really concerned with it being too low poly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go Dynamesh it, and let's go 32. So we can just kind of get the overall shape of it, not really worried about any of the detail. We do want some support here, so whenever it is printed, it's not going to just slump over. Right, so I'm just going to randomly bring this down and just going to ZBrush it. He is on a rock, so the more random we are about this, the better it's going to serve us in this type of thing. You know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Do that. Bring that up there. Let's give this a bit more dimensionality. Make sure it's just not one big flat surface. Zero mesh it, and let's bring this over. And thank you again for watching. I do appreciate you being here for the first ever XMD live episode. I appreciate you. Just gonna bring all this down, and not really concerned. So I'm gonna press BCC, and then I'm just gonna chop the bottom of this off, right? Redynamesh it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it up. I'm going to go double. So I'm going to go 64. I'm going to redynamesh it. It didn't redynamesh because I just dynameshed and nothing changed. And so now what I need to do is I just need to move something here and there. And let's make this a bit shorter and a bit pointier. But now that I've moved it, now it's going to redynamesh, right? So if you ever get that issue, that's the reason it's not dynameshing. Okay. And boom. Get that. Let's get some contrast in here. And you can see how it's pulling from the other side. I don't really want that right there. Right, so I was sculpting on this side, and on this side it wasn't. It was pulling from it as well, and I kind of don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to brush. I'm going to go to auto masking and turn on back face masking. And that way, whenever I sculpt on this side, it's not going to pull on the other. Okay. Bring that down, dynamesh it. And just kind of giving it a little bit more rough feel. We don't want... and give the foot somewhere to rest on so it's not just floating out in the ether. Build that up. And again, trying to be conservative with this base, so I don't want a lot of rock because that's just super expensive in terms of time for a 3D printer. Whenever you have something like super big, so we don't really need that much. I just want to make sure it's not super thin and a part that's carrying weight, and we should be fine. Right, so just be very conservative if it's just rock. I mean, if the rock is, you know, making something else, like I think there is a Morgan sculpt from, I don't know if it's a game or whatever, but she's got the bats on her tights. I think it's a video game. But anyway, I think it was, what was it, Mufaisal? Mufaisal sculpted it, but the rocks, whenever you looked at it in a certain way, was a skull. And so for that thing, you know, obviously you want to make sure that you're completing that thought and executing it well. So you might dedicate a little bit more real estate to that, but that's not the case here. You know, the rock is more to support the pose, to have a diagonal feel to it, and create that action line immediately, right? So right there, bring that down, bring that up, bring that over, and just ensuring yet again that we have enough support where we need it, and being conservative with the amount of real estate that we're taking up in the 3D printer as well as on the desk. Okay. So we got that. Let's start giving a feeling of the rock being sheared this way. I'm gonna just use a random collection of brushes, the clay buildup and the Damien standard. There's lots of brushes in the toolbox that we're going, the XMD toolbox, that you do have the full version of that with this course, which is pretty damn awesome. That toolbox is super useful in organizing all your brushes. And you can bring in, it doesn't have to be just XMD brushes. You can bring any brushes in there. But yeah, it's super dope. Okay, so bring that and just trying to, again, give some dimensionality, right? Not everything's super flat. Not everything's super round. You have rocks going in, rocks coming out, rocks shaking all about. We're going to go up again, then we're going to double it. We're going to go 128. And I'm just going to make a little mark and then redynamesh it. And now I'm going to do not a final pass, but a final sketch pass with our clay buildup so that we got some, it kind of gives us the flow of it in terms of all the small little details. We'll get to that in just a second. Okay. Again, trying to find anywhere that we can kind of put a diagonal or an oblique angle to this artwork, right? And then bringing it back, taking it back up into this direction. Clean, 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 carve, 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 scrape, 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 holding Alt, and this is just the damn standard brush. Comes standard with ZBrush. Scrape, scrape, scrape. And redynamesh. Let's try to give a little bit of a, give my clay buildup again, digging in. And this isn't going to be, we're not going to sculpt all these, or this big rock all in one piece. What I'm doing right now is I'm just sketching it in, and whatchamacallit, and then we'll stack on top pieces here and there. Alrighty. So if you're in the chat, let me know what's going on. What are y'all working on? What are y'all sculpting? What are y'all learning? Are y'all focusing on sculpting? Are you focusing like what area? Are you focusing on texturing? I'm making it game ready. What's up? Okay, right there. And again, just trying to have that break so it doesn't just come off as one shape, but we have multiple shapes. And again, taking that opportunity as well over here. Just making sure it doesn't end all in one big shape. We have multiple levels to it. Boom. Something like that. And hold Alt with our damn standard. Something like that. Artistic Neo Soul working on a rogue piece and trying to get better at understanding and doing texturing. Hey, man, we're going to go through that here. We're going to send this guy over to Substance Paint. We're going to texture him up, and we're going to send him back. And we're going to apply everything that we did in Substance Painter onto the ZBrush model itself. Stay tuned. We're going to do it here on this channel. Alrighty, so let's boom. Bring it here, bring that over there, bring it over here, bring that over there. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Neo Show. Appreciate you being on, being here at the CB Ho Dojo on a regular basis, breaking a sweat. That's what we like to see. Okay, don't want to get focused on one specific area. Yeah, but Rogue's pretty dope. I like the comic book version of her way more than the movie versions. But yeah, she's dope. She makes a great sculpt too. You have to get it right though. You have to get that. You have to get it right. Everything needs to be right, or just or at least as close to right as you can get. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this clay polish, but I'm gonna go 256. I'm gonna redynamesh it, and then I'm gonna clay polish it. Maybe I won't. Kind of like the roughness. Let's go here with our trim dynamic and hold Alt and let go of Alt certain areas, and let's spend more time on the front than we will the back. But yeah, Rogue, the Jim Lee Rogue. That was my first impression of her. And then the cartoon as well. all that good stuff. It was so good. That's kind of those two places are kind of like where I would say around that time is where I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do comic book art. I definitely want to be an artist above everything else. I think Terminator 2 came out that same time and saw that, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? So ever since then, just been slowly etching my way towards directing a Batman film, whether it be animated or real life. I gotta do that before I die. I gotta do that. So hopefully that David Sinclair guy from the Joe Rogan podcast that's on focuses on life extension. I better figure something out, dude, because I ain't going until I direct Batman film. Artistic Neo, so me too. So many people sculpting her though. Oh yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. You haven't done it, or maybe you have, but you haven't done it again. You haven't done it this time, so there's always something to say. But I do understand what you mean by, it feels like it's saturated or whatever. But if it's good, it's good, man. If it's good, it's good. Right, and again, we're going to be breaking all this up into separate pieces sculpturally, and then we'll dynamesh it all together and just trying to get it all planned out. Oh, it's your first time sculpting her? Yeah. Are you who are you using for reference? Are you using an actress or a Instagram model, or? And just trying to make sure, even though it's random, it still looks good. And this is the reason I love clay buildup, because it'll give you these subtle midtones that you can kind of use as inspiration to choose your randomness. Especially with hair, I always like combing over first with the clay buildup brush and then using those midtones as inspiration to put in the streaks, because it's naturally going to flow with what you already have. Maddie Bell cosplayer and female MMA poses. Nice. I'm trying to think of, I guess, who's the Bullet Valentine, I think is her name. Or at least that's what they call her, the Bullet Valentine. What is her name? She's like Russian and blonde. But yeah, she's a current champion. She'd be good reference. Or Holly Holm, she's good too. Boom, get that, and kind of want to break that up. Okay, break that up. Break that up. And let's kind of send this back just a little bit. And next I'm going to turn on AccuCurve with my move brush so I can kind of get some sharper movements out of the brush instead of round. And kind of moving this in, making sure I'm being conservative where I can be. Is anybody playing Modern Warfare out there? That is, I'm gonna send that back. Playing Modern Warfare, let your boy know. Doing that kill confirm 24/7, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Bring that in. Just don't want too much leaning over, right? Yeah, Holly Holm's really dope. I like her. Who do you think's got the? Do you think Nunez is going to win this weekend, or do you think that Thai world kickboxer? She's coming out of retirement though, but she doesn't look like she's spent her time sitting around on the couch. It looks like she's been training the entire time, just hasn't been competing. But yeah, I think this Usman Covington. Ooh, I can't wait for that fight. That's just a lot of animosity there. But I like Usman too. He's very calm, very collected. But I'm going for Covington all the way. He just seems more vicious. Just making sure if there's some place that we can make it look more interesting and or make it a smaller footprint. I'm going to take that opportunity and it'll, save you on print time and print material. So there, let's go to our clay polish options. So that's under geometry, clay polish, maximum curvature, sharpness. Let's kick that up. We'll kick that up too. We'll kick down the softness and we'll kick up the surface contrast and we'll pay attention to the edges. Ooh. Okay, let's keep the surface at 0. Keep it at 0. And let's kick this edge back. Let's go 10. And yeah, made it all nice and sharp. But I think we can get a better result. Let's kick this down to 5. Let's go 0. Yeah, we're getting better that way. Sharp 30, 57. Let's go 35. Clay polish that. Yeah, now it's not exploding on us. And it's giving us nice little faceting there as well. So it's never a one-click solution, but that is pretty dope. Let's see if we can get... let's go up in resolution. Let's go 512. Let's dynamesh that, just slightly smooth something and then re-dynamesh it. Let's go 15 on the max. Let's go 40 on the sharp and 15 on the, what is that? Repeat sharpness. Yep. And let's hit it again. Okay, and let's go back up to 30. Clay polish it. There we go. And then we got, you know, in terms of a sketch for our first base, I think that's pretty good, right? Like, we didn't spend a lot of time. We've got a lot of stuff in here that we can use. Right. And we can even break this apart even more, kind of get here, kind of accentuate some angles, maybe dig some down that we weren't too happy with. Okay. And then do that, hit clay polish again, and that'll kind of shear it off for us, right? Which is kind of what we're looking for. So I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive in certain areas now that I know the kind of effect that we're going to be hitting. And you can see I'm using these facets that we got from the last one and kind of just using that. I'm not completing each line that I see, but I am hinting at ones that will definitely give us some more contrast and depth in here. Okay. Usman is a beast, especially when he gets people on the ground. Worst place to be, yeah, on the ground. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the whatchamacallit, when he fought Tyron Woodley, man, he was just like digging into his ribs and just like, oh man, just smashing that guy's ribs up. I haven't seen Tyron Woodley since. But yeah, Usman's a beast. Kobe Covington's a monster. It'll be good. It's going to be a good fight for sure. Okay, and I'm just using my damn standard brush. I'm doing that. Let's see, is there a gouge or something? What was it? What was that called? I always accidentally click it. No, that's not what I'm looking for. What it was called. What's it called, people? Let's hit this planer. Let's just go over this. Oop, let's not hit that. Don't want it too thin on the edges, for sure, because that's not going to be good for printing or keeping your product, stable and sturdy. You don't want things that are easily breakable, because then people are just going to get frustrated that they have to continuously reprint things. So you kind of want to make it easy on them, you know? Alrighty, and just running through here and using this planer brush, kind of hitting some areas, letting it do its thing. I don't like But, you know, just trying to cause some happy accidents, basically, is what this is. And then we came up with clay polish. Boop. Do some, yeah, it's a nice little small little base, right? This corner is really, really boring me. So, you can get a bigger brush size. Bring that out. And I don't want these too similar in their, and how far out that they go. Okay, and again, taking any opportunity we can to kind of give it a sharp-like feel to it. So we can really sell movement and danger with those angles. Movement and danger. Okay. Okay. Hit that, hit that. Doosh, 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 doosh. Bring that over. And I think we are good in terms of getting this down. At least for a sketch and making sure that, you know, the footprint isn't too aggressive. We're just going to clip off the bottom so it's nice and flat. Redynamesh it one more time. And now that'll sit right on there, right? And it's not too big. And we'll, you know, if you see my Thor piece, you see how detailed we're going to get into the rocks. We'll get there, and we're also going to use Substance Painter to help us out a lot because Substance Painter is going to give us a much more realistic result, and it's also going to give us a much better, you know, randomness to it. Let's see. What does it do? We're supposed to be on the ground. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Neo Soul. What does what do? While you're answering that. BAM!
Can you feel that? Do you want to be the best? Do you? You want to take balls and turn them into champions? Are you ready for that? Are you ready to go through Keyshot, Marmoset, Unreal? Look, more balls, all types of balls. And now what is it? It's a superhuman earthworm named Jim. All of this, look, feet. How many tutorials have you seen that go over feet and laser guns within the same tutorial? None. And now, got him.
Got him.
All of this, dragons, female anatomy, male anatomy, ninja swords. What else do you want? You want something magical? I'll even teach you how to sculpt magic. Now you need to sign up for this course right now. Go up to the XMD Academy and sign up for Character Creations for Collectibles by Spicer McLeroy now.
Let's do it. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. On demand or live. Either way, you're going to get some of this XMD live action in your face. Either way. Alrighty. So let's add a little bit more bass to my voice, just a little bit, you know. Just do that, kick down the mids, just a little bit, kick down that treble, just a little bit, add a little bit more of that bass, you know, maybe just a little echo, you know, just so my voice carries a little bit right there. And we're going to be on your right side right now. We're going to be on your left side. Now we're in the middle. All right. So that tool is the planer tool. And that's just giving you a really, really hard edge plane and all that stuff. So definitely check that one out. Okay. Let's see. I think we're going to call it there. These streams are only supposed to be an hour. It's an hour and 20 minutes. Under promise, over deliver. That's what we do here at the XMD Academy. All right. So make sure we're going to be here not this next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. Okay. Every other Wednesday, we're going to be here live. So make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Because we're going to be going from beginning to end, people. Beginning to end. Who else does this? No one else does this. All right? No one else. It's going to be added to the on-demand course, and you're also going to be, you're going to have access to this. If you want private group, one-on-one type access, then you would have to get the full course. And every other Wednesday, we'll also be having one-on-one time, so you can send your sculpts to me. I'll sculpt over it. You know, you and I can talk immediately. We'll be in a hangout, all that good stuff, all at XMD. So make sure you go there. Thank you, Artistic Neo Soul Leo, and everybody else, the other 2 million people watching. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to follow me on my Twitch, Shotgun Scream, Instagram, Spicer CG, and then you can find me on Facebook, Spicer McLeroy, right? But yeah, post all my streams there and on my Twitter, which is Shotgun Scream as well. So hope to see you there on those other channels. Follow me on ArtStation, Shotgun Scream, all that good stuff. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's let people know about this, all right? We're going to have lots of good stuff coming up, right? I mean, are they all going to be as good looking as me? I mean, there's one thing I love about tomorrow, and that's that I get better looking every day. I mean, you know how it is. You know how it is. I mean, look at us. Look at us right now. Look at this gi. Look how tight this gi fits. Look, my arm's almost filling that up. Look at that. Look at that. What other fucking stream are you watching that guy's wearing a gi? One other stream. My stream. Shotgun Scream. I'll see you next week, people. Don't forget to